Welcome to the next iteration of my podcast. I'm struggling through today. I was really not looking forward to filming this, frankly. Um, Probably should have recorded this yesterday, just got a little busy. And today I'm just in less of a mood. Let me get my mic situated here. So, yeah, I think yesterday was one of those days where I had a lot going on, but I also had a lot on my mind that I wanted to talk about, and I think it's pretty interesting how quickly that can change. I just kind of been hanging around the house today. I had a therapy appointment, but the purpose of this episode was to share a story, something I experienced. I have sort of teased the story I'm about to share. Got a lot of people on the hook, and now I don't feel like telling it. Now I just don't. I'm not really in the mood. Um, I'm gonna do my best. Well, for those of you who haven't been hooked yet, the premise is I destroyed a homeless woman's lunch on purpose. And I'll let that one sink in. I destroyed her lunch on purpose, and I'll explain why. Okay? There's a big homeless population in California, especially in Southern California. Now, a few episodes ago, I talked about the fires and how that's not always necessarily the government's fault. And we sort of got into the same thing with North Korea. North Korea can't grow food, and that's not necessarily the government's fault. North Korea, they just have less arable farmland and less just generally conditions that permit to grow food. I'm going to close this window. There you go. Hopefully you guys aren't hearing any of this extra noise. This is truly a secret podcast. The only main person I'm worried about hiding it from is Kaylin at this point. Where was I? So there's homeless people in California, and I would sort of argue it's for the same reason. Somewhat, it's certainly a factor. There's just warmer weather in California, so it's easier for homeless people to survive. They don't have to worry about freezing to death. You know, you got a lot of stuff you're worrying about if you're homeless. You're where are you going to get your next fix? One of the other homeless people who you got beef with, are they coming after you? How are you going to eat today? They got a lot to worry about. You don't want to have to also be worrying about, am I going to freeze to death? Am I going to overheat? California has those nice, cozy conditions where you can just kind of hang out. Now, I'm not going to give our fucking state government any credit. So I know that those things, the homeless population is compounded by the policies of the state of California, sinking billions of dollars into fixing the problem, yet not really giving any of these people any help. So I get it's sort of just money laundering where billions of dollars go into these nonprofits and these government programs, and it basically just gives people jobs and it helps people get reelected. Um, Nonetheless, I'm sort of just setting the groundwork here. Um, Now, something I have learned over the years is most people don't understand the rabid behavior of homeless people in California. As somebody who comes from the East Coast, this fucking mic, bro. It's actually the mic's great. It's the stand that's been giving me issues. I gotta tighten this stand up, man. I'm always tinkering with it. So anyways, somebody who comes from the East Coast, seeing homeless people, when I was younger, they were timid, right? You would see them in the city in Washington, D.C., or if you go to New York, and they would sit there silently with a little tin cup and they'd shake it. And then under their breath, they might say, like, spare change. And they wouldn't really make eye contact with you. And they were just they'd really keep to themselves. And you felt bad for them. You did. And you know, and I know a lot of these people who are homeless, um, there's normally mental health problems involved, serious ones, schizophrenia. It's not like they're just not like normal, quote unquote, mental health problems. Like when, you hear someone say, like, I have anxiety. No, these people don't just have anxiety. They're normally schizophrenic. They've got some type of extreme mania or, psychosis or whatever, that compounded with the drugs. So you might be used to timid homeless people, but the homeless people that live in California are, as Kalen calls them, a different breed. And that's a very fair assessment. They don't sit there quietly with a tin cup and ask you for money. They'll twist your arm, sometimes literally, for extra money. They'll scream in your face for extra money. They will jerk off in front of you. And they don't do that for extra money. They just do that. But so I can't fix these problems. I could if you made me the governor, but nobody wants that. I can make them go away, all of your problems. Dylan for governor. But I can't fix them in the position I'm in right now. And so for those of you who don't know, Kaylin's got a storefront. She's got a retail location for her business, and there's, she has an office, and then also we have an e-commerce team within that, and they ship products out that people buy online, and it's mostly women. It's mostly girls who work there, and that's not because we discriminate towards guys. I think that's sort of just a happy coincidence. Perhaps the types of products she sells, I'd say it's normal for girls to sort of gravitate toward want to work in a place like that. But we do have guys there. And working, there's a stark difference between working with girls and working with guys. My main job is mostly with guys. Her office is mostly girls, and they're two totally completely different environments. And they both work. Either one's fine. There's not one that's better than the other or whatever. But we deal with the homeless people in these offices who are outside of the building, who sometimes infringe into the building or around the building in a very non-peaceful manner. And these girls get scared, and they should be. because these people aren't always the friendliest. So I'm in her office on a Friday, minding my own business. I'm hanging out. I overhear the girls talking about, well, um, there's a homeless lady outside on the sidewalk, and we asked her to leave or whatever. Hopefully, she'll go away. They weren't saying that to me. I heard them speaking about that among themselves. So I'm aware of it mentally. About an hour goes by. By the way, as soon as Kaylin comes home, I'm stopping record on this. I'm just going to upload it. I don't know if we're going to get to the full hour today. I'm probably just going to tell this story. I don't have much else I wanted to talk about, but I know she's on her way. Perhaps I re-record this too. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I don't want to re-record. I don't feel like that. I'm minding my own business in her office. I hear these girls talking about there's a homeless lady outside on the sidewalk. Now, normally when they're on the sidewalk, I don't really give a shit. And I hear them say she's on the sidewalk, so I don't give a shit because people are allowed to be on the sidewalk. It's public. Sidewalks are public property. So I continue to hang out in the office. I'm working. I'm helping out. And about an hour later, one of them comes up to me and says, "Hey, Dylan, there's a homeless lady outside. We asked her to leave, but she won't. And she's blowing her cigarette smoke into the building. And I don't know if she's trying to start a fire because she's putting her cigarettes out inside of our building." And I already know what I have to do now. She's explaining it to me. I get up. I take a sip of my drink. I know I'm going to have to go confront this person, which I've done before. And I go, okay, I'll handle it. I'll go up there. So I go up to the front of the store and I hear the woman outside yelling. She's tweaking out. And I think, oh, fuck. This is not going to be one of the normal interactions. Normally, you go up to the person, you go, "Hey, man, look, you can't be right in front of our store like this." And they normally go, "Yeah, I know. I'll move my stuff now, man. Sorry about that. And then they'll ask you, like, "You got any water or something?" I go, "Look, I'll give you a bottle of water, but you got to be on your way." And that's normally like a fair trade. And so I'm walking up with the mindset of, I'm good. I'm just going to go up to this woman and politely ask her to leave. And hopefully that will be that. So I go up. I start walking up to the door. She's yelling. I realize she wasn't on the fucking sidewalk. She was parked right against our fucking building, against the door, blocking the door in. So if somebody had to get through that door, they couldn't. Her and all of her stuff was there. She had cardboard boxes laid out, flattened out, And I'm, sort of mentally preparing, fuck, here we go. So walk up to the door. Door's locked. I look outside. She's out there walking around in circles yelling. I see a pair of scissors right outside of the door on the ground. And I know that a lot of these people carry around weapons and knives and shit. So I'm like, well, fuck, that's probably her blade, her little knife she carries around to, try to defend herself from other crazy homeless people. But I know when I open that door, I can't let her get that because I don't got shit on me. And if she gets a hold of that knife, I could be fucked. I could be slashed up pretty quickly. So I slowly start unlocking this door. And as soon as she hears me unlocking this door, she starts fucking yelling at me louder. "Oh, you have keys, motherfucker. Come out here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, shit, here we go. I open the door. I crack it. She immediately starts trying to rush inside. She's pressing me, being very aggressive. She tries to get through. I swing the door open. I put my foot down on the fucking scissors so she can't bend over and grab them. And she's yelling at me. She doesn't make any fucking sense. Everything she's saying is completely incoherent. I've got my foot on these pair of scissors, so I feel okay. She's thankfully not a large person, but she is pushing into me. She's pushing her shoulder into me. I'm like, fuck, here we go. I open that door up. She's pushing into me. I start yelling at her because I know you have to match these people's energy. You can't ask. You can't ask nicely. You can't ask politely. We tried that already. Remember, someone else did. And what'd she do? She said, "Fuck you." No, you can't ask nicely. I'm yelling at her. Get the fuck out of here. I probably sound a lot meaner than that. I was fucking going, dude. Get the fuck out of here. And she says no. She's like, no, 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 no. I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, oh yeah? And I see a bag with all of her stuff on the ground right in front of me. And I just walk up to it and I fucking kick it. And all of her shit fucking flies all over the sidewalk, everywhere. Now she wants to leave. Now she goes, all right, I'm leaving, but I got to get my stuff. And I said, you can fucking leave now. We asked you an hour ago. And she's like, I got to get my fucking stuff. Blah, 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 blah. I got to get my stuff. And she's yelling. And she doesn't even really make sense, but she knows she's got to get her shit out of the way. I'm still going at her, get the fuck out of here. Now, I can feel a crowd forming on the sidewalk. I can feel people watching. But I'm also not going to let this fucking homeless bitch win, right? Because we're not quitters. I'm not going to let her walk all over me and decide that she gets to live in front of our store and threaten everyone. That's not how my world works. That might be how your world works, where you like to just let homeless people do whatever they want. And maybe that's why California is the way it is. And people haven't been able to figure this out, but not me. So I'm screaming at her to get the fuck out. She says, I got to get my stuff and I got to get my lunch. And she's looking, she goes, that's my lunch. I got to get that and then I'll go. And I said, oh, this is your lunch? And she's pointing to a bag of chips on the ground. And I go, oh, this is your lunch. And she looks at me and goes, yeah. And I look at her and I just fucking stomp it. And I go, get the fuck out of here. And as soon as I smashed this bag of chips, that was her lunch, I'm like, oh shit, what did I just do? And she goes, thank you. I didn't want to eat those chips anyways. I said, get the fuck out of here. And so it's pretty fucking heated. There's a crowd. And that was probably the height of the tension. But she's picking her shit up finally. And she's going, I can't believe you're treating a lady like this. And I said, you're not acting like a lady. Get the fuck out. This is the last time I want to tell this story. I'm fucking sick of it. So she won't leave. She's taking her time. And then now the security people who got called an hour ago decide to fucking show up. And the security, the city has a private security team that they just deal with this kind of stuff because the cops can't deal with all of it all the time. And then there's a nonprofit organization that shows up. And they go, hey man, I got it from here. She's leaving. I got it from here. And I'm fucking pissed now. Because I just had to push a homeless woman off of me and had to scream at her for fucking 5 minutes to leave. And they go, oh, we got it, man. Just relax. She's moving. And I started fucking yelling at them because they're pissing me off now. I'm like, no. She's not leaving. And we asked her an hour ago, and we called you guys an hour ago, and you're just now fucking showing up. And she threatened me, which she did. I forgot to mention that part. And I didn't know this at the time, but she had threatened the staff who asked her to leave the first time. And she had a pair of scissors that she was using, also didn't know this at the time, to fucking scratch at her fucking door and shit. and she was blowing cigarette smoke into this little fucking hole in our building that goes into the inside where the mailman puts mail through. And she was throwing her trash through that little hole and her cigarette butts. So, no, it's not fucking cool. You don't fucking have it. You guys get paid millions of dollars to handle this shit, and you don't. And they go, oh, and then his other friend shows up, and they go, "Oh, it's Amber, it's Amber, dude." And I go, "Oh, it's so you know her? So this is your friend? You know her? You know her name? So you've dealt with this before? Well, why don't you guys go take the fucking millions of dollars you get of taxpayers' money or no, charitable nonprofit money that people use to launder out of their profits and losses of their businesses, take those millions of dollars and get her the fuck away from me because I don't like dealing with this shit, and we shouldn't have to, and she shouldn't be fucking homeless when you guys get millions of dollars and the state gets billions of dollars to deal with this. Why are we still dealing with it? I have shit to do." So I destroyed her lunch and she thanked me. But it was a funny moment where, you know, I go, "Oh, this is your lunch." And she goes, "Yeah." And I just fucking stomp it. It felt pretty good. Um, it was funny. It was a funny exchange. I'm sure if she was in a better headspace, we could share a laugh about it one day. So that's my story. That's the one I hooked a lot of people with who are probably listening to this right now. Um, I want to address some rumors you might have heard as it pertains to me and homeless people. I have joked in the past. Joked. Let me. A joke is when someone says something funny and people laugh. And I know that not everybody really grasps that concept where I say things that are funny and then they like to take them out of context and then use them against you. And then they go, "Well, I don't get the joke." Okay, well, I said something funny and people laughed and I laughed. And sometimes jokes are not true. Do you guys understand that? I'm sure there's someone watching that doesn't understand that sometimes you say something and it happens to be not true, but it's funny. And sometimes it's funny because it's not true or because it's ridiculous. So I've told a joke, which I will tell again. Don't try to get me canceled or, try, but this is a joke. I'm stating this very explicitly clearly so that even the dumbest of people can understand that. But I've argued jokingly that if we were to just kill all of the homeless people, then a lot of our problems and their problems would go away. Do you disagree with that? It's kind of funny. A lot of them, now again, I'm joking, want to be put out of their misery anyways. A lot of them do these crazy drugs because they just want to fucking it to be over. They are a liability to society, and they do cause a lot of trauma to others. But why not just kill them all? I'm joking. So if you've heard someone say, "Well, Dylan thinks we should just kill all the homeless people," well, you took that out of context. That was just a ha-ha. It would solve the homeless problem, though, would it not? I mean, look, all the billions and dollars and shit that they get, the state gets, they could just build a giant fucking bunker and stash them all in there for all I care. But what do you want me to do, man? I mean, it's a huge problem and it affects everybody. It affects me on a pretty regular basis, and it's pretty tragic. Um, the serious politician side of me would say we need to get them some type of housing. But the funny side of me thinks we should just get rid of all of them. You got any other creative ways? I think Tim Dillon joked about putting them all in a pot or something. He's got that episode. Put them all in a pot and boil them. I don't mean, I'm not saying that. People, have joked, speculated, putting them in like a Hunger Games style situation. People, that conversation pops up a lot when you're around a group of people, especially at work. When we don't always have our phones on us, so we just kind of end up getting to these deep conversations. But people do go, hey, why not? It's usually with prisoners, but hey, why not just turn them into a little Hunger Games for entertainment? And a lot of people say, well, if they're serious, they go, well, that's inhumane. And I always kind of think, well, like, is it? Is putting them in like a coliseum of some type and making them fight to the death with a sword and a shield inhumane? Or is that something that humanity's been doing for thousands of years up until like 100 or 200 years ago? Is it nice? No. But is it inhumane? I mean, we've been doing it forever. Guillotines in the public square and gallows, and not for homeless people per se, but criminals and murderers and rapists, castrating rapists. Is that inhumane, or is that like something that we just have always done as humans? I'd sort of take the latter. But I guess in the year 2025, that makes me a bad person. I want to bring some more people on the pod. This program's not just meant for me to be rambling. My buddy Ethan has verbally committed to coming on. He's got a lot of stuff he wants to talk about, I think. So hopefully we'll be getting him on here soon. This week's episode, like I said, it was always probably going to be short. I just really wanted to tell that story about that homeless lady, and then I hit record and I kind of didn't want to tell it, but it has to get out there. I did destroy a homeless woman's lunch on purpose, and I'm proud of it. Because look, she tried pulling the woman card. She said, like, I'm a lady. How could you treat a lady like this? It's easy for you or for the crowd of people who watched me do it say, well, it was a bit cruel, but she was being cruel. And the dynamic's a little different when you know that there's probably like 12 girls in that office that were also fucking scared. And this woman had a weapon and she apparently was trying to start a fire. I'd say it's okay to meet that with aggression. If you have suggestions on how to deal with this stuff in the future, leave a comment. I don't have much else to say. We're at the half-hour mark. I want to have some people on, man. These solo pods are tough. I guess while we're here at 30 minutes, I will go ahead and do a quick ad read and then probably close it out. I'm recently sponsored, or became the ambassador of, rather, 11624 Pickleball. So For those of you who play pickleball or don't play pickleball, you can go to 11624.com/Dylan and you'll save $10 on every paddle you buy, which is an incredible deal. I mean, these are literally the best paddles and they're actually budget compared to the other paddles on the market. It's 11624.com, 11six24.com/Dylan, Dylan. Look, if you don't play pickleball, you will at some point, and you're gonna want a nice fucking paddle. Don't go to Target and one of those cheap, flimsy shit paddles. I've seen so many guys who want to start playing just do that, and I'm telling you, man, you're gonna fucking regret it. Those paddles suck, and they're way overpriced for what you're getting. 11624 makes the best fucking paddles on the market. All right. And when you go out there for the first time, you want all the fucking ladies or guys looking at you and going, damn, that dude's got a nice fucking pickleball paddle. He did not cheap out. All right. And he's probably going to fuck me up. Make sure you use the promo code. If you don't use the promo code, I won't know that you bought a fucking paddle. You're not going to save $10. So use it. 11six24.com/DYLAN. When you go to checkout, you use the little promo code DYLAN. You're going to save $10. You understand? Do you like to save money? Do you need a fucking paddle? You might think pickleball's dumb, and I understand that, but your boomer parents probably play it. Or your boomer parents know someone who plays it, and they're about to get into it, and it would make a great gift for them. What did you get me for Mother's Day, sweetie? Here, I got you this state-of-the-art pickleball paddle that's going to win you games. All right, and if you don't play it, you should. Because you're fat and you're out of shape and you know you need to go out and find something to do. You know you spend too much time in front of your computer. You know you're a lazy fuck. So go buy one of these paddles, get out there, meet some fucking people and have some fun, sweat a little bit, exercise. It's great exercise because you don't realize you're exercising, but you are. So go buy a paddle and enjoy yourself. And that's the first ad read of this program in this program's history. I will try to do these more. I'm going to try to make them fun so it doesn't sound like you're listening to an ad. Leave a comment. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I'll talk about whatever. I need stuff to talk about. I can't keep talking about the fires in LA and the election. I mean, hopefully this is a bit of a getaway from the politics and the other nonsense in your life that sort of makes you upset. Hopefully we'll be getting back into some conspiracy theories next week. Hopefully I can get some other people on. But, you know, go enjoy yourself. And I guess I should end it with some advice. I feel like I kind of always end these with a little bit of advice, but you go out there and stand up for yourself. All right? Don't let a fucking homeless person scare your loved ones. Don't let them strike fear into the hearts of people you care about or people you're responsible for. Go fight a homeless person. All right? If they're fucking giving you a hard time or they have scissors and they're scratching your fucking door, go fuck them up. All right? We shouldn't have to just take their abuse all the time. And don't feel too obligated to help them. There's tons of fucking nonprofits and government assistance helping them enough. Some of them are just crazy and they don't trust the government and they shouldn't trust the government, but they think that the government is legitimately trying to kill them, even though they're just trying to put them in a house. And so they go out and, jerk off on your wife's store. and you shouldn't tolerate that as an American. So go stand up for yourself. You've got rights too. Don't forget that. You've got rights too. Thank you for listening.